Good evening, Internet. I'm Elliot the Purple Hair Doofus, and I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing in the last video. What does that mean? Maybe I slept in my clothes. Maybe I'm just recording this after I recorded the last one. You may never know. Anyways, if you watched all the way to the end of the last video, you'll know that I decided to combine Chapter 0004 and 0005. And that is because 0004 is really short. It's like 5 pages tops. And I'm kind of glad that I combined the two because they're more exposition and explaining stuff about stuff that people who don't play video games might not have known about. Or describing the life of Halliday before he got big. And I suppose you have to get that in there sometime. And I do hear that they are in the works of making this movie. And if that doesn't pay off, I'm pretty sure I know what's going to be cut from the movie. Just one second. Sorry, I thought my camera shut off on me. Anyways, Chapter 4 is all about his actual experience in school. He has a history teacher named Mr. Ivanovich, and all of his teachers teach in this virtual world, which means that they can basically teach with holodecks. Which means that the students can sit there and the holodecks can transport them wherever they need to go. And he describes learning about World War I on the battlefield, or learning about the human heart by traveling through the human heart, kind of like a Fantastic Voyage type of thing. And then after they're done, they go to the parking lot, and he talks about all of the different cars that are up in the school parking lot and how everyone there has adapted a vehicle based on their sci-fi likes. Like there might be the Serenity from Firefly in one of the parking spaces, or the DeLorean from Back to the Future in another parking space. And I thought that was kind of cool. And then he starts talking about how after school all these people go off to their fictional worlds if they want to, if they can afford it, where they can go anywhere from Dagobah to Discworld to, Middle Earth. So anywhere that their minds can imagine and that's been built inside of the Oasis, they can go to. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then he starts talking about how it costs to travel, and I'm starting to trail off again. And it's just... it's getting a little too detailed in the actual mechanics of how this world works, and I know that I have to sludge through it, so it's really kind of dragging for me right now. He also talks about how in these other worlds it's got different rules, like some of the places have a no player versus player rule where you can't combat each other, and others have areas where it's only player versus player and it's every player for themselves, so you could get killed. And if you get killed in the virtual reality game, you can't go back, so you have to be careful. He talks about how Wade talks about how he couldn't leave the planet because he didn't have enough money, and he has to be really careful about that sort of thing, and how he can't level up as fast as the other Gunters in his clique of friends. So he's about a 3rd level while the Gunters are at about a 10th level, and he just feels so small compared to them. And then we go on to the 5th chapter, which is all about the backstory of Halliday. And one of the like really interesting details I thought was Wade has a Grail, or he has what he calls his Grail diary, which is full of Halliday facts that he uses to try and decipher what clues will get him to the egg. But it goes on to talk about how Halliday was young and reading from a D&D book and met his best friend, Ogden Morrow. And the two got together and they became like computer programmers and best friends and started spreading out their very first game, which was called Anorak's Quest. And he programmed it in BASIC, and I was like, I programmed stuff in BASIC. It was just music and animations, but I programmed stuff in BASIC when I was in high school, so that was kind of amazing. And they basically kind of became the indie developers, and Anorak's Quest just blew up and took off, and they couldn't make copies fast enough for everyone to buy them. And they built their own business around this. And then it started talking about how Halliday started acting weird in interviews, and how Halliday started firing employees if they didn't get his references, to which Ogden would immediately, hire back on after they got fired. And people had started to try and, I don't want to say decipher, diagnose his mental problems. And the whole time I'm just kind of thinking, why isn't Ogden getting his $250 million? Because I did finish the chapter and it doesn't mention Ogden dying. At least I don't think it did. I don't remember it. And one of the things that I really connected with was Halliday had a really high-pitched, annoying laugh. And mine's not high-pitched, but people do tend to point it out to me a lot, and it's really kind of annoying when they do. And eventually people had diagnosed Halliday with Asperger's or autism, or maybe even both. Every biography that Wade reads about Halliday has a different diagnosis, but they all kind of group into those two. But by the time December 2012 came around, Oasis was released and everyone just went crazy for it. And basically the second half of Chapter 5 is describing how all of the virtual reality equipment works, how the helmet works with the gloves, and how the world inside the Oasis is basically connected to the internet, and how Oasis was so popular on the internet that the word Oasis eclipsed the word internet. And eventually the Oasis started being used for travel. And I was thinking that was kind of horrible, because if I wanted to travel and visit with my family and get a hug from my mother, I would want to do that in person, not in the virtual world. And it basically just ends while it's describing the virtual reality equipment. And I don't know why, I'm just really, really tired of all of this description, and I want to get to some character interaction. But what about you? Are you enjoying all of the descriptions? Are you enjoying all of this backstory? Are you not like me? You just kind of want to skip over all of this just to get to the people talking to other people? Because Chapter 3 was awesome for me, because everyone was talking to everyone. But this is just... I know it's necessary, but damn it. I just really want to get to some plot. But yeah, I'm running out of time. So I will leave it here, and I will ask you, what exactly do you hope or look forward to coming up in this book? And I will talk to you all tomorrow. No, I will talk to you all on Monday. Toodles!